People often claim that praying while lying down is a sign of laziness. Some churches even suggest that it's disrespectful to God. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful prayers in the Bible was made by someone lying flat on their back? And God didn't just hear it, He responded instantly. Here's the truth that is often overlooked. God isn't concerned with your physical posture. He's looking at your heart. While some religious groups might judge you for not kneeling or standing with your hands clasped, Scripture tells us a different story. Consider King Hezekiah's situation. This man was on the verge of death. Isaiah, the prophet, walked into his room and delivered a message from God. Put your house in order, for you are about to die, and you will not recover. Imagine receiving that. No hope, no second chance, just the end. But in 2 Kings 22:2, it says, Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and prayed to the Lord. He didn't rise from his bed. He didn't kneel. He simply turned his face and spoke to God from where he was. And here's what's extraordinary. Before Isaiah even left the palace, God told him to return and inform Hezekiah that his prayer had been heard and that God was adding 15 years to his life. God answered a prayer from a man who was lying in bed, and he did so instantly. Now let's look at Jacob. In Genesis 47, we read about his final moments. This man, who once wrestled with God, was now frail and old. In verse 31, it says, Israel worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. He was so weak that he needed support just to stand. Yet God didn't reject his worship because of his physical condition. The message is clear. Prayer is about connection, not perfection. It's about communication, not performing for an audience. Think about your own life. When do you pray while lying down? Probably when you're exhausted, unwell, or it's late at night. Those are the moments when you're most vulnerable, most honest, most real. And guess what? That's exactly the kind of prayer that God values. Psalm 63:6 says, On my bed, I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night. David, the man after God's heart, is literally praying from his bed. And he's the same person who wrote many of the Psalms. If anyone knew how to pray, it was David. The Pharisees, however, loved to make prayer about appearances. They'd stand in public places to ensure everyone saw how holy they were. Jesus warned against this in Matthew 6:5, saying, When you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who love to pray standing in synagogues and on street corners to be seen by others. Jesus wasn't against standing, but he was against pretension. He values authenticity over showiness. Psalm 4:2 goes even further, advising, In your anger, do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. God actually encourages people to reflect and pray while lying down. It's not just acceptable, it's biblical. And let's not forget about Hannah. In 1 Samuel 1, we find a woman who was so broken that she could barely speak. The priest, Eli, even thought she was drunk because her lips were moving but no sound was coming out. She wasn't in any perfect prayer position. She was emotional, struggling, barely holding it together. And yet, God granted her Samuel, one of Israel's greatest prophets. The pattern is evident. God responds to sincerity, not position. Whether you're lying down, standing, kneeling, or walking, what matters most is the genuineness of your heart. Prayer is about talking to God, not about doing it right. When you pray lying down, it's no different than any other position. Your heart matters most. Think about it. When you're sick, exhausted, or facing a difficult moment, your vulnerability and honesty are what God truly hears. Paul wrote in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, Pray without ceasing. This doesn't mean you need to be kneeling or standing all the time. It means to weave prayer into every part of your life. You can pray while cooking, driving, working, or yes, lying down. Prayer isn't meant to be limited to specific postures. In fact, there's something profound about praying when you're physically weak or tired. It strips away the act, leaving you with nothing but your raw honesty. That's exactly what God desires from you, to come before Him just as you are. Romans 8:26 tells us, The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us. Your physical weakness doesn't limit God's ability to answer your prayers. In fact, it makes space for His strength to shine through. The physical position you pray in doesn't determine whether God hears you, your heart does. So, if you're someone who works late, struggles with physical pain, or simply has moments of exhaustion when you pray, don't feel guilty about praying in those moments. God is not concerned with your posture, He is concerned with whether your heart is reaching out to Him. Whether you're sitting, lying down, standing, or kneeling, He just wants to hear from you. So, next time you're lying in bed at night, troubled or exhausted, don't hesitate to pray right there. God doesn't care about your position, He cares about your heart. Hezekiah prayed while lying down, and God gave him 15 more years of life. Who knows, you might find yourself praying while lying down and receive the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Maybe you'll experience the peace that finally lets you rest. Perhaps you lines gain the clarity you need to make the tough decision that has been keeping you up at night. Don't let anyone make you feel like your prayers are any less valid just because of the way you reposition, whether you're standing in a church, kneeling by your bedside, sitting in your car, or lying flat on your back. If you approach God with a sincere heart, He is listening to you. Now, let's make this personal. What's the most unusual place or position you've ever found yourself praying, only to see God move in response? Was it during traffic, at work, or maybe even in the shower? Share your story in the comments, we'd love to hear it and inspire others too. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Word of Ages TV for more content that challenges religious myths. Prayer isn't about putting on a show for God or others. It's about connecting with the one who loves you unconditionally, no matter where or how you are. So, feel free to pray while lying down, sitting, walking your dog, or wherever life takes you. Just pray.